Hi guys, it's Sweet Tooth here. I'm trying to get out of bed at the moment. I took 2 tablets this morning, and I got a bit sleepy. Then after that, I sort of felt okay on that. So we'll see I'll see how I go. I still feel okay on him. Again, um, in me and tablets, I mean, I need the strongest dose to get about because my body I can just handle huge amounts of antidepressants and stuff, and it doesn't really touch the sides. I think I must have a really strong constitution. Most people can handle 50. I'm on 200 plus, so I might need something stronger in a month's time. Maybe we'll see what my therapist says. Now today's subject is all about vehicle tax. Um, and how unfair it bloody is. I got my reminder from the DVLA just like everybody else out there, and I'll calculate the amount of times that I use my uh, van. It's just not worth it for me. You know, I need to use it obviously for doing certain things. I have an obligation to do stuff which I'm not going to talk about, but I have my obligations. But I worked it out, and the actual how many times I use it compared to other road users, that I mean, that are practically in it every single day. It's just not worth it to me. It's getting so expensive. Um, I'm getting a bill for like £250 a year, and it's going up every year. And I read a report the other day that only about an eighth of the money from the road tax that DVLA charge you actually goes into repairing the roads. I mean, the roads around here are patched. They're not. There's no new roads. There was a lot of money spent on Scotch Corner, and that was a lot of it took a long time to get sorted out. But most people, they have potholes are just there, left there, and they're not using this money. They're using this money for other interests. It's another tax, an unfair tax that I think could be scrapped and introduced at the petrol pumps themselves. We all need fuel, and therefore just apply that to the pumps. That way, that the DVLA aren't going to get people who are going to skip it. They're not. It will totally eliminate car dodgers, and it'll also free up police. You know what I mean? The police have got better things to do than chase. I'm sure chase car tax dodgers for the government. They've got enough on the plates without that. You know what I mean? And it's the government's way of collecting more money for taxes. Now, I'm not the government. I don't make the rules. I just think I'm not going to start slating anybody. It's not my place to, but I just feel, from my point of view, that it's an unfair tax, and it's a tax I can't afford. For the amount of miles and journeys I do a year, I just feel it's totally unfair. And I'd be happy if they just put it on the pumps, or I could negotiate with them, like I can with my insurance company, you know what I mean? But every time an insurance company comes around, I tell them how many miles I use, what I need, and I can get a good, then I just pay for what I'm using. This vehicle tax, it doesn't matter whether you use your vehicle once a month or every single day, you're paying the same, and that's unfair. That's not a fair tax. And the only way to make it fair would be to apply it to the pumps. I mean, we're already paying a fortune in tax on the pumps, but if you increase it again, um, then that way the government would automatically get their money. There's no worrying about people dodging the tax. It would free up a lot of paperwork. It would save the government a lot of money. I don't understand it. It's a bit like the TV license, but that's another gripe that basically is highway robbery. Let's face it. But I'm not going to start slating anyone. It's not my place. I don't make the rules. guys, I just think from my point of view, it's really unfair, and I just can't afford it. I had a quad bike. It was a road quad, road ATV, but it was expensive. It was a little ATV, but they still deemed it as a car, and they were charging like X amount. It was an expensive tax for what it was, and also it drank fuel. It was a really thirsty vehicle, so I couldn't afford. The fuel was so expensive in this country, so I had to get rid of it. It was just too expensive to put on the road, and it was too expensive to put fuel in it. I couldn't keep up with the fuel on it. It was just drinking it every time you see the problem with an ATV is you have to go to a certain, you have to keep up with the traffic, and it was full throttle and it was just eating it. Because the problem is, in a lot of countries, it wouldn't have been so bad if fuel was a lot cheaper. I could just put, I could fill it up every day and not worry about it. And, if I was filling it up for like, £2 or £3, I'd think, well, that's fair. But it was costing me like 6, 7, 8 quid every time to fill it up. And again, that's money that I just don't have. I certainly can't afford. But back to the room on vehicle tax. You know yourself. It's an unfair tax. Most people use their vehicles once a week, twice a week, maybe going to maybe once a day to pick up the kids. But they're not getting the full amount of vehicle tax, and it's an unfair tax. It needs sorting out. It really is. I'm now at the stage now where I think I might just leave the van for a month and just use the mountain bike. Unfortunately, because of my obligations that I have to people and everything else, I'm forced to tax it. But I'm thinking of see if I can get round it somehow. If I can borrow somebody's car for a month, just because it's getting they are just taxing me off the road at the moment with this. I have no problem with the insurance, and I think insurance is worth. We all need insurance, but the vehicle exercise, the tax thing is a massive rip off thing. Anyway, guys, leave your thoughts and comments. I hope everyone's okay. Thank you very much for replying. I shall reply back, and hopefully we'll see what goes on. Catch you in the next one.